Y'all coming out, don't be afraid to get some drinks, have some fun, enjoy the show. So far, so good. We're having a good time. I shocked you with the Valentine stuff right up front. I wasn't going to go there, but you got me excited. All right, let's Y'all ready to keep this party rolling? Put your hands together for this man. He's the reason that he brings us together. His name is Bear Love.
Hello. How you guys doing? Awesome. I love Golden. Anybody bring their dogs down here today? Did you guys get to see all the Goldens in Golden? Yeah. That was adorable. Oh my God. I could go on for 20 minutes talking about these cute dogs and the costumes that they were wearing. And, Golden Retrievers are all awkward as fuck. I haven't told a good blonde joke, so I guess I'll tell a Golden Retriever joke. And there's other jokes. You guys remember like the blonde jokes, right? That used to be a thing. Everybody tell a mom joke or a blonde joke. But my dad has got a little Polish in him, so I can tell a little bit of those Polish jokes. Remember those? Yes. I'm a hippie, so I got to mix it in with peyote, of course. Have you ever seen or what's dumber, a hippie or a Polish person? That's probably the joke right there. But have you ever seen a hippie follow a Polish man in the desert looking for peyote? Okay, well, that was my time down in Mexico. And I can tell this either two ways. I met a guy at a rainbow gathering who got deported when I was in Mexico. And he was a 19-year-old kid. He'd never been down to his uncle's house. And I was like, okay, I know how to hitchhike. You speak Spanish. I'm going to protect you and get you to your uncle's house. So I hitchhiked all through the country of Mexico. And so if you're a Trump supporter, I took one of them home for you. If you're a Democrat, I took that poor 19-year-old kid to his uncle's house. So you determine how that one gets read. Okay, but my name is Bear, and so this bear hippie is wandering down there, and I found out that there's a peyote field down there, 150 square miles. Matthew McConaughey actually had a picture with the peyote guy. He was there. He was like, oh yeah, Matthew McConaughey came here. So I did peyote with the same guy Matthew McConaughey did down there. And but I couldn't find, they call him El Jefe de la Desierto, the chief of the desert was his name. And I didn't meet El Jefe. First I met Monik. Monik was a Polish altar boy from a Catholic church in Poland. And he was doing a sabbatical when he was 19 years old. He was going from Canada all the way to Argentina. And there's a language barrier. Polish is first language. Spanish is the second language, and English is the second language, and he's speaking to these guys in Spanish about peyote, which they just told him was a spiritual food. He's an altar boy. He's spiritual. So he's like, gee willy, tell me all about this spiritual food. And so they give him directions to Loma Blanca, which is the middle of the desert in San Luis Potosí, Mexico. And yeah, sure, meet us there, Polak. And he goes right out there. And horrible, the only thing that somebody told him is like, yeah, it's actually like a drug. And he's like, what? He goes, yeah. And he said that the one person who did it actually hung themselves out in the desert. And this poor fucking kid, who tells this kid this? So my poor Polish guy, he goes out in the desert and he found the peyote, and he didn't have El Jefe teach him. He had a goat herder, literally, that was walking by. He was like, hey, if you pull out the hair, it won't kill you. And so he pulled out the little hairs. He did that. But I went down there, and when you get that far away from civilization, there is such a beautiful community of humans living near the peyote that I don't imagine that they would ever need to put some substance in their body to alter their state. So the actual people that live near the peyote saw me, and they're like, I'm not telling you anything about the peyote. And so I was going down there like, I hear we're in the peyote fields? No. And in fact, they actually told me there's one house, and I had to take a Jeep to get to this place. And you get to ride on top of the Jeep like it was Mexico, lawless. This ain't the land of freedom. There's more freedom over there, for sure. So basically, we ride through the desert, get into the peyote, and I thought it was just going to be like, hey, where's the peyote, you know what I mean? And no, so they tell me I can go up to this hippie store. There's an actual town store. It actually says hippie store in English. And I was like, okay. I'm in Real de Catorce, Station Catorce, Mexico, and there's a hippie store. And I go in there, and I'm like, there's some kids, hippie out. And I'm like, hey, where do I get the peyote? And they go, any restaurant in town sells it. I'm like, oh, okay. And he's like, yeah, go order peyote soup. And so I go into the restaurant. It's a nice little place, and I sit down and I ask somebody's grandma, abuela, where's the peyote? She brings up a bowl of soup, and I'm smart. I go, con mescalina? And the active ingredient, and like I said a swear word, she goes, no. So here I go back to the hippie store. Hey, bro, con mescalina? He goes, oh! I realized he told me to go ask grandma for peyote. Yeah, so it was actually not as easy to find. So we finally get to another town. They pushed me over to the other town called Estacia 14. And they say, there were some kids who, they bummed a cigarette for me. They were 17-year-olds. I should have given them a cigarette, but I was like, you're going to tell me where the peyote is. So I paid these kids a cigarette to tell me where the peyote was. They're like, and they knew they were going to get in trouble because none of the locals were into it. So they were like, there's one house that has a red door in our town. So it's like a treasure hunt. So we're like, okay. So we follow, I literally, like military squadrons. I picked out the whole town. I was like, I went down this street, I went down that street, I went down this street looking for a fucking red door. Red door. And I finally get to the red door. And there is a peyote button painted in the stucco next to the red door. And there's music going on inside. And I get up there and the music shuts off. Nobody answers the door. They're just like, who's the widow? I don't know. He's probably a cop. Hippies are the same everywhere. We're not very trusted. So I end up not wanting to mess their buzz up, so I left the house. I left empty-handed. And I go back to where just the most beautiful humans are playing soccer, and there's these people are slow in the desert. Like there was these old guys that was like that old movie, and they're just like moving across the town square like this. I swear I was like on speed, like going around here. These guys, it took them my whole journey around the town, and they still hadn't made it across the square. These three old guys just walking. Like it was they're just, and then all their families playing soccer right next to it. It was a very beautiful place. And I get up there, and I'm looking around, and I'm just like, okay, you guys can have the pack of cigarettes. I'm over this. And it's kind of how it is. You got to give up before something gets opened up. And I just see another traveler with a backpack. That's how you can see us down there. Anybody who's hitchhiking. And I see Monik, my Polish guy, and he is buying tostadas. And you could see in his energy, he was shimmering. Like he looked like he was just, like he looked different. Like I could tell peyote was in him recently. And I didn't have tostada money, but I got in line. Yep, one tostada, please. Yep. So I'm sitting down, I go sit right next to him. I'm like, oh, you're going to tell me where the peyote is. And he said, I was out in the desert for 3 days. And he's Catholic, and he said he had to fight the devil to not hang himself because of whoever's told him that horrible thing. And so he said I had a grocery sack of all the peyote that the goat guy taught me how to find. And he showed just a Kroger sack, like little actual Kroger grocery, not the ones Colorado has. You guys got paper, but the old ones. So this is a remnant. So, but he said he had 25 of those buttons, and I'm like, you had 25 of them? That's I didn't do one. And he goes, yeah. He goes, and I was out there for my 3rd day, and he goes, I thought I was gonna die. He goes, but this is what I had with me, and he pulls out the last of one of his Snickers. He goes, I had a whole pack of Snickers. And I was like, this is a fucking Snickers commercial. Dying from peyote. Oh, that was what? Have a Snickers. So, true story. And he said Snickers saved his life. So he ends up saying that it was so hard on the 3rd day, and he just thought about how Jesus was in the earth the 3 days. You know what I mean? And he was like, I have to make it through these 3 days. You know what I mean? And I have to face that. And he said he took that bag of peyote and he just chucked it away from his fire. And they tell you not to walk away from your fire in Mexico because all the stuff was made out of really dry desert stuff. And so your fire is going to burn out within a few minutes, and you're not going to see it, and you're going to get lost in the desert and be away from your water. So he knows the rules of the desert, not to walk away from your fire at night. And so he threw it out there. And then he said he sat there, and he just heard that bag taunting him. And so he said, I had to leave my fire. And he said, I get out there, and I fucking grabbed that bag. I found it. It took me a while. He goes, and I burned all of it. Oh, good. Well, that's a cool part of the story. And then I said, okay. I said, but you know where you found it? He goes, yes. He goes, and I'm not better than our Lord, so I can't go out there for a fourth day. He goes, but we're drinking this tequila in my room tonight, and I'll take you in the desert tomorrow. So you can find out if this hippie followed that Pollock in the desert and died from starvation, or if we had a good time. I'll tell you more about that next time. We got another bunch of great conference coming out, and we do this every Friday at 7:30. Thank you, guys. I love you.
Let him hear. Bear love, everybody. I was